In years past, the role of defending Catholics in Ireland had been played by the Irish Republican Army, the IRA. Formed in the early 1920s, the IRA originally served as the military muscle of Ireland's independence movement. Afterward, members of the IRA rejected the conditions of the peace treaty, which included the division of Ireland. However, their political and military influence in both the North and the South declined in the following decades. In Northern Ireland, the IRA had dwindled to a small number of poorly armed members, too few to respond to the violence of 1969. Humiliated into action, IRA members held a General Army Convention in December to coordinate their response to the crisis. It was clear that a resurgent IRA would play a central role, but the delegates were divided on the nature of this resurgent IRA. Most delegates at the convention believed that the time had come for the IRA to drop its long-standing policy of abstention and to enter politics. Abstention meant that the political candidates affiliated with the IRA and its political counterpart, the Irish Nationalist Party Sinn Féin, pledged to abstain, that is, never take a seat, even if elected, in either of the electoral bodies that represented the two halves of the island, the British Parliament or the Irish Oireachtas. Abstention stemmed from the principle that the division of Ireland was wholly illegitimate and that no true Irish Parliament could be held in anything less than a unified 32-county Irish state. Ending abstention was therefore a very controversial issue. In essence, it meant that IRA candidates would be accepting the legitimacy of the parliaments in both the Republic of Ireland and Northern Ireland, and therefore accepting partition in principle. A passionate minority believed that such a position would be a rejection of the core value of Irish republicanism, a united Ireland. In more practical terms, the dissenters thought that the IRA's leadership, many of whom were from the South and based in Dublin, completely misread the political situation in the North. The brutal sectarian violence of the previous summer indicated to them that there was no possibility of political reconciliation with Unionists. Instead, they believed that the Catholic community needed defenders and that participation in politics would foreclose the necessary armed struggle. Originally outvoted 28-12, the dissenters gathered afterward and decided to hold a second convention. The main achievement of the second convention was the election of a 7-man Army Council to lead a reborn IRA, dubbed the Provisional IRA. The majority faction came to be known as the official IRA. Shortly afterward, Sinn Féin split along similar lines. Hardline Irish republicanism was now fractured, with the Provisionals confident that they were the only ones who truly represented the Irish nation. The Provisional IRA grew rapidly and soon eclipsed its predecessor, thanks largely to the poor handling of the crisis in Northern Ireland by the UK government. UK authorities initially tried to solve the problem militarily by deploying the army in the major cities in Northern Ireland to provide security. While effective in the short run, the British stopped short of a long-term solution, which would have entailed imposing comprehensive political reforms on the defiant Unionist community. With the political demands of the Catholic community going unanswered, the initially cordial relationship between Catholics and the army broke down, becoming increasingly antagonistic. As the Provisionals stepped up their violent campaign to reunify Ireland, the army responded by retaliating against Catholic communities. In 1970, the army began large-scale cordon and search operations in Catholic neighborhoods. By 1971, the army was placing Catholic men by the hundreds in indefinite detention without charging them with any crime. Each of these steps drove more and more moderate Catholics into the arms of the Provisional IRA.